Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture, and today we're going over BENEE's first official album called Hey You X. So BENEE is a New Zealand Kiwi from New Zealand, and she's been pretty much rotating since I want to say back in 2018. So I first got into her, well, 18ish, 19. So I first got into her with a song called Soaked, and with that was the same time the EP was out of Fire on Mars, which came out in 2019 in June. So I listened to the whole thing, and I definitely took Soaked and Glitter from it, and I really liked it. I thought it was really nice. I thought her sound was so nice. There's something, and then like the production was really cool too. Like it sounds nostalgic yet fresh at the same time, and that goes out to Joshua Fountain, who's part of actually two groups. I forgot the other one, but the one that he's part of now is was Leisure. So he's pretty much produced this album as well, and he really does a great job, and she does a great job just going right over that like production. So I was very excited to hear that this album was coming out. So let me go through some of the highlights, which is going to be most of it, because I pretty much like a good portion of the album. There's some songs that I didn't really connect to, or I had an issue kind of figuring out what it meant. So with that said, I didn't give it a star because I wasn't fully on board. So, it seems like this album is pretty much talking about mostly love. And also, it's talking about mostly love mixed with, her own little, her own insecurities with it. And I feel like it seems that we're going after her having a boyfriend before, and what's the aftermath of everything, and how she's like finding a new guy, and how she feels about moving on, and kind of feeling out of who she is, kind of thing. So this album starts off with Happen to Me, which I really liked. I heard it in singles, so I was really excited. I love the production. It has that kind of UK kind of sound, which I forgot what it's called. I want to say it's two-step, but I don't think it is. But it's a little slower, and it just sounds so great. The production's so nice, and she's pretty much talking about like the scary things in her head about pretty much death. And she says, like, you think about these things too much, my mind likes to wind itself up. And she says things like, I hope I don't die inside a plane. I like to die in a better way. And yeah, so it's pretty much a lot of just thoughts about just how she's gonna die, or how she doesn't want to end it. Pretty much wants to end it more on her terms than it is just having things that she wasn't ready for. And I love the guitar solo, and it's so nice. It's really nice. A couple other ones I like that where she kind of goes in. Well, I feel like that's the beginning of her talking about more of herself, and then we go into Same Effect, Sheesh with Grimes, and Supalonely with Gus Dapperton. So all three of those are songs I really like. I love Same Effect. I think it's really nice. She's pretty much talking about, it feels like to me, how much she really wants this person, and how she tries to kind of flirt with other people, but it doesn't seem to affect her the way that he affects her. And then Sheesh goes into more talking about how she really likes this. She thinks this guy is really nice, and she likes how she's being treated by him, but she still seems to fall for these other guys that are not him. And she'll say, as she says, she's like, everything you say is right. It's the right thing, but you text me every day, and I can't keep acting like I feel the same way. Sheesh. And I feel like in that type of term, it's just it's definitely, once it's completely explains itself. I like what you're doing, but it's just not clicking to me that I want to be with you, kind of thing. But she also says, and this one has more of that kind of two-step kind of feel, She also points out, like, you don't have to change, keep it high key. Pretty much saying, like, whatever you're doing, it's gonna hit somebody else's button or whatever. So keep going at it, keep being you in that direction. But pretty much, don't expect it to kind of work onto me. And she says, Mr. Nice Guy, it seems like I should want you, but I'm stupid and I fall for all the other dudes. Super Lonely is another one that's very popular. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. Featuring Gus Dapperton. I keep saying that wrong. Self-explanatory. It's pretty good. It's a great song. She's talking about how she's lonely and she wanted to have that narrative of being the person that was the fault of the breakup and everything. Plane is the last single that came from before this album, featuring Lily Allen. Welcome back to her. I'm so glad to see her doing back around, like doing her rounds. And Flo Milli, which is, I love Flo Milli. I love her verse was really, really nice. And it just flowed right in. Like, it seemed like she was ready, like, years ago. She was like, I already have this verse. Here you go. You know, I feel like it came very natural to her. This one's pretty much talking about how it's more of her pettier song, and it's just, she's talking about, like, how this guy and her break up, but then she sees the girl that he's with now, and she's completely a downgrade from what she is, and so she knows that, and she embraces that, and she's like, yeah, and it doesn't hurt, and adds more damage to the fact on the guy's side is that he keeps texting her or hitting her up. She'll say, funny how sometimes you'd hit me, you'd try hitting me up. Clearly, your new girl, she is just not good enough. And it's just full on, just like, obviously this guy is a complete asshole in some way, because she has no remorse, she has no sympathy for this guy. It's out the window. And she says to the point where she repeats with Lily Allen, she's like, you went out with that? Oh, that makes me real sad. And I'm like, whoa, she must be a complete downgrade. Kool is another one I like. I love the bass guitar. Just pretty much talking about how this guy is just really cool, and just his demeanor is just so easy, and she wishes she can be like that. A Little While is a really good one. It's pretty much her kind of slowly going more into her actual insecurities, and I feel like after Winters when we start, like, Winters when we kind of I feel like we go into it, but she's really talked about real things about herself, like more about herself, of why these things are getting to that point. She does mention it in, like, Same Effect, and I want to say Sheesh too, in pieces of that one. But you have A Little While when you actually really go into it, where she's like kind of trying to put aside her insecurities, but she's explaining, like, what's really going on, of why she's very, like, skeptical with, like, new men or new guys that come into her life. As she says, like, I'm not used to guys like you. I'm so used to being used. And it's like, wow. So yeah, so I really like that song. I really love the sound of it too, and I like how she's opening up more as we go to the end of the album. I think it's really cool. Night Garden featuring can't talk today. Night Garden featuring Kenny Beats and Bakar. This is a really, really, really good song. I really like it. It's pretty. I feel like it's metaphoric in a way, because she says, like, this guy. She says, "Can't see the man. He's out of sight, but he still remains in my mind in the night." And I feel like it could be metaphoric to her own demons that she has when it comes to herself. That, like, her self. What's the word I'm looking for? The self-sabotage. And so she understands it, and she sees it, and she sees pieces of things that takes out pieces of her insecurity. But yeah, I really like that one. I feel like we go into, like, all the time featuring Maroki. And I feel like that one is, I didn't start it, but I did like the sound of it and I like the message of it, because I felt like that's also very kind of metaphoric, because she says, your eyes are red, I can see yours, or your eyes are red, I can see you're knocked out too. And I think the idea is that she's saying that they're pretty much just numb from the relationship, and they're just, the whole thing is just not really, they're just kind of going with the flow. And then finally, another song I really like is See You. The guitar, it's just straight up just guitar with a little like minimum of production, and I like this one too, because it's still more for opening up, but it seems like that story ends with that she is still trying to figure out herself. She's still trying to get over those kind of fears and those insecurities that she has towards this, like, towards love in general, but I think that she's getting close. And I think that she's also, at the same time, embracing the things that she does naturally. So in this, she's like, I could stay, and See You, she talks about how much she really likes being in this, like, being around him and everything, but she says, I could stay, and I would. I like it here deep in the woods, but we know that it won't last long. It feels so good to have someone. So it's just like, so it seems like she really likes what she has. She likes everything that's going on, but she already knows that her demons are just gonna creep right back in, and she's gonna end up having to go. And I think that that's something that it's not really a great way to see it, but I think in her terms, it's more of just like, still battling these things, so I don't know if it may damage the relationship or not, but I like where we are right now, so, I will live presently until we cross that bridge kind of thing. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the whole album. I really, really like it. I give a shout out to Josh Fountain for killing it with this production. Did a great job. I give this a 9 out of 10. I really, really like it. I was very happy because in the beginning of the album, I was kind of tired. I just was getting my coffee going, and I love it. It starts slowly builds you in, and then it slowly builds you out kind of thing. I love that. The organization of the album is really nice. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you liked it, his likes button. Subscribe, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get more of my videos, and I'll see you all in the next video.